Have you ever stopped and asked yourself why the African music sounds so lively? Why it sounds so communal? And perhaps why it sounds so human-like? What if I told you that in African music, the drum represents the father? That metal ring represents a baby. And that melodic instrument, be it orutu, be it chivoti or marimba, represents the mother in the family. Strange, perhaps confusing. In African music philosophy, particularly as articulated by Professor Meki Nzewi and Odike Nzewi, the musical ensemble is not viewed merely as a combination of instrumental parts. Instead, it is understood as a living social system, modeled after the structure of functioning of a traditional African family. This emphasizes that music making is a social act. Before it becomes a sonic production. Every role of an instrument corresponds to a responsibility, a social responsibility, and a musical coherence that reflect a social harmony. Thus, the African ensemble becomes a sonic representation of a communal life. How does this come about? We are going to follow 4 principal roles of instruments, that a group of instruments in an African ensemble. The first group of instruments is what we call the pulse instruments. The pulse instruments are what just keep the pulse in music. This represents the father in a normal family. They are very steady. They bring about the stability. Imagine an ensemble, an African instrumental ensemble, that bass drum just playing boop, 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 boop. Sometimes it can become very monotonous, probably boring, but generally that's our fathers. That's how they are. You might think that they almost know nothing from how maybe they speak less, but their absence can really bring instability. When that bass drum stops playing, you can feel how unstable the other music are going to be, the other instruments are going to be. It is always played on a deep instrument, repetitive and unvaried. And this also has some educational values. It teaches discipline, patience, consistency, and responsibility. You know, without that pulse instrument, the pulse keeping instrument, the whole ensemble will really not be sure of the tempo. There won't be stability when it comes to the beats in the music. The second group of instrument is the phrasing reference instruments. The phrasing reference instrument is normally played on a highly pitched and piercing instrument. I need you to take a moment and think of an African performance. Let's take an example of an Isikuti performance, Isikuti dance somewhere, where people are playing drums, people are dancing. There's one line that is sometimes underrated, but it means a lot. That metal ring just playing above everything else. Ding, 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 ding. If you take a good listen at it, keep a keen listen at it, you'll realize that it plays a very big role in phrasing the whole ensemble. This one represents the baby in the family. A baby who catches the attention of everybody. Where they sit, everybody has to keep on looking at them. When they play, everybody ensures that they are safe wherever they are playing. Same as in our ensemble. When they're being played, everybody is paying attention to them. Okay, the metal ring have gone 3 rounds, 4 rounds. That means that this phrase has ended. We have to move to another phrase and the instruments has to proceed. This has educational values too. It trains listening because it takes your attention. It trains concentration and rhythmic accuracy. It is also where most of instrumentalists begin. Before you now move to maybe playing a more confiscated instrument, you start by playing that a simple rhythmic instrument.